Hey folks, Scott Walters here. Welcome back to the Bulletproof Garage in another episode with Project Brownie, our 1991 F350 crew cab diesel dually. Now on this episode, we're going to do something fairly simple. We're going to take bumpers off. We're going to put bumpers back on, front and rear. And at the end, we're going to have some bonus footage. So let's get started. Okay, in episode 1 or 2 of Project Brownie, we went ahead and removed the enormous ranch hand front bumper that was on Brownie. It was the wrong one for the truck, all right? It was actually welded in place. So we'll do a quick recap here and then we'll roll right into it. Okay, before we get started changing fluids and such, and while Will is here to help me out, I want to go ahead and get rid of this bumper. It's not made for Brownie. It's cobbled and welded on there. Thanks, Marshall. Marshall's the prior owner, Marshall and Sally. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. So we've got it chained to a tree because I figure this thing weighs a few hundred pounds and I don't want it to drop on me as I'm cutting it down. So why don't we get underneath and I'll show you what we've got to deal with. Okay, so we are on the passenger side here, and so obviously this is the frame, and this is the bumper bracket, and this is something sort of welded to the bumper bracket and the frame. So I think what we're going to do is just take a cutoff wheel and cut this off here and get the bumper loose on each side, and then I'll come back here and go ahead and remove the rest of this once I get this piece out of the way. Just pick her up and walk her back. Okay, to remove the front bumper, there's just two bolts, all right? So these two new bolts right here, just got to remove those on each side and the bumper will come off. Shouldn't be any wires here to worry about. And you're going to have to get on the back side with something to hold those nuts while you unscrew the bolts. A ratchet and an open-end wrench should do the trick. All right, what we've got here is a replacement back bumper for Brownie. You know, the bumper on it right now is stock. It's chrome or stainless or whatever, a little beat up. And with the wheels black now, I think the bumpers ought to be black as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up and paint it. It doesn't look terrible, but the backside's got a little bit of rust on it. I will tell you that the bumpers for these trucks, the back bumpers, are interchangeable from 1980 to 1996. And I believe this one came off of a 1995 pickup. So it should fit, and if it doesn't, I'll sell it and go find another one. So this is tedious work and dirty work, and I'm not looking forward to it, but it's time to get started. Oh, before I forget, folks, wear some of these and some of these, especially if you're using one of these that's got wires on it, all right? Because these little wires will break off, and they'll go through your eyeball if you don't have iPro on. All right. Okay, when it comes to removing the rear bumper, it's fairly simple, but a few things to watch out for. So I am underneath the truck here, obviously, and I'm looking at the bumper bracket on the passenger side, and here's the bracket on the driver's side. Obviously, I've already replaced it at this point, but you can see how rusty things are, and this is a Texas truck. I mean, the body is just about rust free, so I can only imagine what y'all folks up north are going to see. But I ended up having to grind some stuff off and cut some stuff off, so your bolts may not want to come out. All right, and you've got the nut on the other side under here. You're also going to have to navigate some wires. You may have some wires like so if you get a plug here for your trailer harness, make sure you undo the wires there. Also, if you've got a license plate light going through the bumper, make sure you unhook that before you drop the bumper. All right, so to recap, 4 bolts, undo a few wires, and try not to drop it on your head. I try with a breaker bar, and if that doesn't work, I just cut it off. Can you, are you at an angle where you can, having a hard time pushing?
Yep.
All right. Take that, mother. Oh, yeah. All right, that's it. All right, bolts off. And yeah, it's not that heavy. Fancy bumpers on this Bronco, and so with that big monstrous front bumper gone, I had to find something to replace it with, and I didn't necessarily want to spend $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever they cost for a nice new ranch hand bumper. So so I sourced a used bumper, a used chrome bumper. Cost me I think $40, and so I beat the dents out of it. And then I scuffed it up with 100 grit and then 220 grit. All right, and took all the shine off of it, and after that I shot it with some self-etching primer, and after the self-etching primer I put regular automotive primer on it, and following that I just shot it with 2 coats of semi-gloss black. All right, so yeah, it took some effort, came out pretty good. It's pretty much going to be a temporary thing, but you know, it may still be on there 5 years from now, but anyway, so it's ready to go on. I just have to put on the bumper strip. These are available new, so let me throw that on, and that's the impact strip that goes right here, and then we'll get it installed. So this is aftermarket, and it goes on a little different than the stock one does. The stock one just kind of clipped into place with some rectangular tabs, and this one's got round tabs that you need a little locking tab on. So bottom line is I should have waited to put the bumper brackets on until this was on, because there are two of these little tabs that I can't get to with the bumper brackets on. So I'm not going to go through the trouble of taking the bumper brackets off to do that. So it's going on as is. Supposed to hold this. Okay, so that's the end of the video on replacing the bumpers. Yeah, it's not a difficult task. It's fairly simple, but I thought y'all might find it interesting to see how I saved, I don't know, maybe $2,000. You know, ranch hand stuff is not cheap. Anyway, just took a little elbow grease and search in Facebook Marketplace, and I think the truck looks 100% better with that huge monster bumper gone from the front, and now the wheels powder coated black and the bumpers all black. All right, so let's roll into the bonus footage. Just some stuff that I thought y'all might find interesting, especially if you've been following along with Project Brownie. All right, so I pulled Brownie out today. She's filthy and had a bunch of parts in there that I needed to organize, and I mean, I just got the vacuum going and just wanted to show y'all what I found. You know, as you can imagine, there's just a normal assortment of parts and some manuals, and I got rid of all the junk. Yeah, there's some funky looking sunglasses, you know, battery hold down, you know, some electrical tape. But this is where it gets interesting. So in the driver's door, I found this. And I was like, oh yeah, nice to have another knife, but check it out. Green Beret. So what's interesting is that my buddy Will, who's been wrenching on this truck with me, is a legitimate Green Beret. So he's a retired Army Special Forces officer, so he'll get a kick out of this. And here's something else. There's something I've been wrestling with under the seat, and I think I know what it is, but man, it's taken me a while to get it out of here. So stuck on something. All right, let me wrestle it out of there. All right, here. All right, so here it is. Now, at first I thought it was a pull cue. Now I'm not sure. So, what is that? I think it's a pull cue or a fishing rod. It ain't a bullet thrower, at least I don't think so. Let's check it out. Okay. Well, that's threaded. What the hell is that? Oh. Are they, is it arrows? Oh, those are, okay, those are darts. But, oh, I wonder if it's darts and a pull cue? Sort of your, you know, going to the bar kit. All right, let's see. Oh, made in China. Okay, well, it's not a, if it's a pull cue, it's not a balabushki or whatever. What is it? What do you call those fancy pull cues? All right, for the big reveal. Yeah, okay, pull cue. Oh no, I thought it was just half of a pull cue. All right, we got some wildlife. Ooh, nice racks. All right, well, all right. I'm gonna screw it together. All right, well, probably ought to check with Marshall, the guy who sold me the truck, to see if there's any sentimental value attached here. If there is, he'll get it back. But if not, I love to shoot pool. I've been shooting pool pretty much all my life. Never had my own cue though. Let's see how crooked she is. All right, well. Maybe just a tiniest little bit of wobble, but all right, cool beans. All right, folks, that is it for this episode of Project Brownie on the Bulletproof Garage. I have got a lot more coming on Brownie. And matter of fact, most of the work is already done. I just need to edit and post the videos, okay? Now, before I sign off, just 3 things that I need from y'all. 1, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button down below. 2, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, click on the button down below. And 3, as always, I love to hear from y'all, so post up a comment, ask a question, tell me what I did wrong or what I did right, all right? Or just check in to say hi, okay? And we'll see you next time on the Bulletproof Garage.